welcome back to my channel. If I'm not loud enough, put your headphones in, put something in, turn it all the way up. I am so happy to be here again, to be back on YouTube, to just to be ready again, you know, to come back and to start getting things going, okay? I'm sorry guys, I'm like all over. I have been wanting to come back on YouTube for months. I think I stopped doing readings last year in like May, 2019 of May, I want to say, and I was just going on a different path. I had something else I was working towards and I was working on that I couldn't keep up. You know, I couldn't give my all to my channel. I couldn't do everything that I wanted to do. It was just too much. It would have been too much on my plate. So understand that. And like I said, I've been wanting to get back and I've been putting it off and putting it off. I've been waiting for the right time. I've been waiting for, you know, the green light. And I woke up this morning and God said, go. Okay, got the green light. So here I am. So today, I'm guided to talk to you all. I hope that's all right with you guys. I know you want to get to the reading and this and that, and we are going to get to a reading later throughout this video. I'm probably going to title this video Awakening to Love. It is going to be a love reading at the end of our little TED Talk, but this is going to be about the lesson that you're learning in love. Okay, and Awakening to Love is going to be the title of this, but it's awakening to self-love. Okay, this has kind of been something that I think I've struggled with throughout my past self-love, but I'm actually finally in a place where I can confidently say I do love myself. I love myself. And to feel that way about yourself, to me, the way I'm experiencing it, it just feels like joy. It feels like bliss. Like it feels like peace. You know, it feels like comfortability, confidence. Like every day I wake up, I just feel like I'm ready to conquer the world. Okay, like that's how I'm experiencing it. And it might be different for you, especially if you are, you know, battling, struggling with truly loving yourself, and not just, you know, the bad sides of yourself, but the good side, you know, everything in between. So the lessons we're learning in love, and I'm going to kind of talk to you guys about the things that I've gone through and how I kind of have got to this place where I am now. Because I've gone through a lot of things in love, just like a lot of people, just like you. And let's go back. Let's go back to maybe one of my first real relationships. I think I was a freshman in high school. And maybe a little younger, but I think I had the same boyfriend I thought was interesting. We were both Pisces. Will I ever date another Pisces again? I mean, never say never, but no. Not for me, okay? Like, it's tricky. And I think in some ways we were really alike, but other ways, you know, when a Pisces man is not like vibrating through like their highest vibration, they can be very toxic, okay? And I've had a history of toxic relationships. You know, sometimes I was the toxic person. Let's not lie, let's keep it real. Anyway, this particular partner that I had, he was a liar, okay? he lied his ass off about dumb things. And this is like a lesson that I learned through many people that I've dealt with. He was a liar. He was a cheater. What did he teach me? Well, really, he didn't teach me much because I kept repeating the same lesson. I kept dealing with people who lied to me. I kept dealing with people who cheated on me. The thing was, for me, like, I think at that time in my life, I was kind of obsessed with this idea of love and being loved and, you know, having a relationship, being in a relationship versus just being single. Because back then, you know, when you're young, there's this idea of love and being in a relationship, and if you're not, then you're not lovable, you know, and that's not true. So then I dated other people, but again, it was the same thing over and over. And then I finally started dealing with someone who was older than me. I dealt with him for literally probably 10 years. And it was always on and off, and he was dealing with someone else, and I wasn't aware of it till I finally came to be aware of it. And I was dealing with him, and this is in the beginning. I ended up seeing him with this girl, and the way that went down, it was just weird. But I'm not going to get too much into detail because I don't want to make this too long, and I don't want to like over, you know, drain you guys with my stories. So he was dealing with someone else. He had told me, you know, they were not exclusive, they didn't have a title, and I was young and I didn't care, and I was like obsessed. I was like in love with him. He was older than me. He was gorgeous. You know, he was my type. And I finally had gotten a chance to deal with him after, like, I had been wanting him for so long. You know, I kind of manifested him. So I find out he's dealing with this girl, and it's funny because me and her lived in the same apartment building. We lived in the same apartment building. And I didn't stop dealing with him because I didn't care. I didn't care. And, you know, she didn't care either, obviously, because she had come to know about us as well. But I think eventually, I don't know what she was feeling. I mean, if I were her and she had already been dealing with him, they were a little more serious than I think me and him were for whatever reason. But I really wanted to be with him. You know, I was always wishing that they would just end it, because in my mind it was like, well, if he really wanted to be with her, then I wouldn't be here. You know, but it's also like, well, if he really wanted to be with you, then she wouldn't be here either, right? It didn't occur to me that way. And we had good chemistry. He had told me, you know, we had a lot more in common than him and this other woman. You know, they were closer in age. She was probably more stable than me. She probably had more going for herself than me at the time because I was young. But anyway, that all came to an end. We won't get too much into detail with that one, but it came to an end. And he actually did teach me something. He did teach me to, you know, I really needed to start putting myself first. I needed to stop letting the rose-colored glasses. I need to stop wearing the rose-colored glasses, because why am I dealing with someone who gets to have their cake and eat it too? Like, I didn't want to be a side piece. You know, I was tired of being the side piece. But then I was seeing someone else, and that was my daughter's father, and we just went through it. Okay, like, it was good, it was bad, you know, a lot had happened. I had been with him for a very long time too, and he taught me a lot about myself, and I literally was so wrapped up in that relationship, I lost myself in a lot of relationships. Another theme, another lesson that I had to learn, I was giving all of me to a relationship, to a person that wasn't even giving half of what I was giving, you know, and I was clingy, I was controlling. I lacked trust because I didn't even trust myself, you know. I didn't trust him, I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust based on things that I went through in the past with other people. You know, I kept forgiving and forgiving and forgiving, and still being in a situation that you knew it wasn't going to last. You knew that it wasn't for you, but you just couldn't let it go. Talk about karmic relationship, right? Or karma, just karmic in general, karmic lessons. And yeah, I literally went crazy. And I just lost myself. I didn't even know myself anymore. You know, I looked in the mirror, I didn't like what I seen, I didn't like who I was, I didn't know who I was. I was so wrapped up in this idea of I love him, we're meant to be, when clearly we weren't. Okay, communication was terrible. Like I said, I was super clingy. All he wanted to do was get away from me, and it was just rough. But anyway, you guys, I'm now in a place where I don't feel the need to throw myself at anyone. I don't feel the need to hold on or get attached to another person. I don't feel the need, well, I still am kind of controlling. I just have this energy about me that I like to be in control. I've been working on that. Okay, I've been working on that, like giving up control, but it's a process. Okay, still learning that lesson, you know. But I think I'm almost there. So like now, you know, I finally have come to a place where I never thought that I would be, which is like acceptance of what is, what was, and what will be. And I always used to think like I will never be able to, you know, be friends with my exes, or, you know, I would just hate them. Like I would hate what they did to me, with what we went through. I would never be able to just let it go, you know, forgive. But now I am. And it's like, it amazes me to look back and to think, I thought I would never be here. I thought I would never be in this space. And it shows like the lack of love that I had for myself. And, you know, I was in these relationships and I was always giving my all. I stopped doing things that I wanted to do. I stopped doing things that I love to do because I always needed to be with my partner. You know, like I gave up on me and my dreams and even my spirituality at one point. I was so lost. But then I, you know, came to start doing the things that I loved and started finding myself some soul searching, some shadow work. And it was hard, and there was times I just wanted to, you know, off myself. I'm gonna be honest. Times I never thought I would get through it. And I started healing. I started, you know, spending more time with myself. I stopped doing the things that made me feel low vibrational. I started making space for things that I wanted to do, cleansing myself, clearing the past, forgiving, healing, and working, you know, back on my spirituality and my soul's mission, my spiritual mission. And like God literally just took care of me. You know, he helped me. He helped me get through it. He helped me get back to me. But I also did the work to get to this place. And it took a long time. A long time. So if you're not there yet, don't feel bad about it. Okay? It's a process. And it's an ever ongoing process. Okay, you can be there today, but tomorrow you might wake up and something happens and you know, you are thrown off again, but you always can get back on the path. And I'm single at this part in my life. You know, it's hard to be in a relationship when you don't love yourself. It's hard to give love to anyone or to be in a healthy, loving relationship when you don't love yourself. It will be a struggle. It will be a constant war between your heart, what you know in your heart, your feelings, and in your logic and your truth. Because deep down, a lot of us know when we are in a relationship, if it's healthy, if it's good for us, if it's going to end, or if it's going to last. But we don't always listen. You know, we like to hold on, we like to cling to it till it just drags us and rips us apart. But why do we let it get to that point? Because we don't love ourselves. If we loved ourselves, we wouldn't put ourselves in those situations. We'd be like, okay, let them walk. Let them walk. I'm good. You know your worth. You know what you deserve. You'll get there. Don't settle for less if you love yourself. So I think I'm going to just leave you guys with that. And let's get into the cards, right? Let me see. If you are not there yet, you know, if you don't feel completely confident in yourself, my advice to you is to start spending more time with yourself alone. Start doing things that make you happy. Start doing things that make you feel good. Pray. Pray. Do whatever you are called to do. You know, follow your heart, because your heart always leads back to you. Your heart always leads back to you. You are your main priority. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter what they think about you. Their perspective, their opinions on you are none of your business. The only one that can judge you is God, okay? And He'll take you with open arms. So be good to yourself. You know, treat yourself the way that you would treat your child, the way that you would love your child. I'm not going to say the way you would treat, the way you would love your child, the way you would love your best friend. You wouldn't want your child to be in an unhealthy relationship, right? You would tell them they should leave that person. Or, you know, if they struggle with confidence, you would fill them, you would uplift them. Maybe they're not good at something, but they're great at something else. You know, maybe that's just not for them, just like a person may not be for them. But the good thing is, even if people aren't for you, you will always learn a lesson from them. And if you don't learn the lesson, you'll keep repeating it till you do. So I'm going to leave y'all there. Let's get into these cards. I'm going to do 3 different piles. All right. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. What is the current lesson you are learning in love? What is the current lesson you are learning in love? So Group 1, you are going to be represented by the selenite crystal. This is Group 1. Group 1. Group 2, you are going to be represented by smoky quartz. Smoky quartz. Group 3, Group 3, you are going to be represented by the seashell. You don't see that? All right, the little seashell. Let me pick my group. Hold on. Okay, I got my group. All right, let's start with group 1. Let's see what lesson you're learning in love. Your current lesson. I am going to start with the Romance Angels. I also have my Whispers of Love Oracle and the Island Time Wellness Oracle here to help guide me for this reading. All right. Group 1. Group 1 Spirit represented by the selenite crystal. What is the current lesson you're learning in love? Or lessons? Let's see. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You guys feel free to drop, you know, your stories, some of your stories in the comment section. We got your lesson. Feel free to drop your stories in the comment section, and whatever it is you think your lesson is, or you know what you're experiencing. So group 1, your lesson in love is trust. It says the situation is calling you to have faith. So I feel like you guys are my group that has obviously trust issues, but you have experienced a lot of abandonment. I'm hearing abandonment in the past, people abandoning you. I also feel like for some of you, you may have a hard time trusting others because you have a hard time trusting yourself and didn't. I spoke about this, you know, I was there before. You guys have dealt with people who lie to you, who deceive you. You have dealt with people who promise you things and they do not end up coming through. They don't fulfill their promises. And I have to ask if you guys also do this. You guys, if you're in a relationship right now, you obviously don't trust your partner. You guys are learning the lesson of trust. Trusting yourself. That is your biggest lesson in love right now. To trust yourself, to trust what you feel, to trust your gut, to trust your intuition, and to trust how things are taking place, and to trust, you know, that what it is you are going through is going, you know, to teach you something, that it's for your highest and greatest good, even if it doesn't look that way. Okay, because like I said, you're going to gain something from this, even if you don't end up with this person. The situation is calling for you to have faith. You guys don't have faith in the events. You also don't have faith in your partner. If you have one, you don't have faith that, you know, you're going to meet someone who you can trust or who is good for you. You guys are really, you have a very big fear mentality around love. Because you think people are going to abandon you, you think people are going to cheat on you, you think people are just bad. You know, they're going to lie to you. And that's not true. So let's see what else you get. You guys are very codependent. I'm keeping it real with y'all. I'm keeping it real with y'all. You guys are very codependent. Or you've dealt with people who are also codependent. There's a need to know everything. I feel like this group is the type to go through their person's phone, stalk, creep. I feel like this group is my pull-up group. You're pulling up. I've been there before too, trust me. And my pull-up game is strong. Okay, I used to be the pull-up queen. Okay. So you guys, there's this strong attachment, very clingy, very attached, because you fear You fear, you know, someone leaving you. You fear abandonment. You fear that things aren't going to work out. You fear someone going behind your back and lying to you. Your biggest lesson is to trust. And I'm not saying to trust your partner. You know, if you're in a healthy relationship, yes. Your past experiences, don't bring them into the present. This is why you have to work through letting things go, forgiving yourself, healing. So you guys had number 23, take a chance on love, popped out. It says when we start to love, our lives are changed forever. Sorry if I'm shaking. You guys are being, okay, if you're not in a relationship, you guys may be going into a relationship very soon, or you're dealing with someone. Okay, and the universe is guiding you to trust this. To trust this. Don't cling on. Don't get so attached immediately. Give space. There's a need to give space, to hold space for what will happen, what will take place. Again, don't hold on to what you experienced in the past or what other partners did or the way that you were. Have faith. Take a chance on love. You guys, when you let go of this fear, when you learn the lesson of having to trust, to trusting what's taking place, to trusting yourself, to being able to trust people, to build trust in a situation, getting to that point where you're not holding fear, dealing with someone new or dealing with whoever you're dealing with, to hold space, to have faith, to just take a chance, even if you do end up getting hurt. Expect the best. You know, expect the best. Don't expect the worst. When we start to love, our lives are changed forever. You're not really loving if you're not trusting. Trust is a very big thing in relationships. So build trust. Build trust. Build trust within yourself. Pray. Have faith that this will work out for the best. And if it doesn't last, that's okay too. You know, I think a lot of times we get into situations, especially women, we get into relationships, we get into situations, and we automatically want to believe this is the person we're going to be with forever. It doesn't always work out that way. It doesn't always work out that way. And that's okay. Because we learn by experiences. We enjoy the moment, enjoy the experience. And trust that if this isn't the person you're meant to be with, that this will lead you to the person you're meant to be with. And it will prepare you for the person you're meant to be with. So you guys had the Mask card come out. Let me see what else. See if I can just get one more here. Yeah, a Love card came out. It says the Mask, not showing true feelings, hide, personify, pretend, delude, gaslighting. So this is something you guys have experienced in love or you have done. So again, another lesson that you guys are learning is not only trust, but trusting your intuition, following your intuition. Okay? You know when someone's lying to you. You know when someone's lying to you. Do you trust yourself to know? You know when someone's not good for you. Trust yourself to know that too. Trust yourself to know that too. Trust to know when this relationship has ended. To end it, to accept it. Because you guys have dealt with people who have hidden intentions, or who are, hide behind a mask, or who are not trustworthy because you don't trust. lesson. Love. Unconditional love. Self-love. Oneness, passion, affection, attraction. You want love in your life? You want someone you can trust? It starts here. Right here with you. Right here with you. Love yourself. Trust yourself. Continue to love. Not hold fear. Okay, you guys? Start with yourself. Get real with yourself. Don't hide behind fear. Don't hold it in your heart. This is the message that I have for my group ones. Your biggest lesson in love is trust. Okay? I hope that helped you. Hope that helped you, group one. All right, group 2, represented by Smoky Quartz. Here we go. Group 2. What is your lesson in love? All right, let me do this timestamp now. All right. Water. Group 2. Your biggest lesson in love, or your current lesson in love, your biggest lesson. So this might be your biggest lesson, you guys. Oh, it's a lot coming out. You guys are controlling. You got control issues. Controlling. And you know, I'm going to say this. A lot of people's lessons. I think the collective lesson in love is to let go of fear. Because the opposite of love is fear. It's not hate, it's fear. You guys have a hard time letting people go. You guys have a hard time releasing the past. You guys are also very clingy, very attached. All right, give me one. Give me one card, Spirit. What is pile 2's? Group 2, represented by the Smoky Quartz Crystal. What is their current lesson in love? What is group 2's current lesson in love? One card, please. Group 2's current lesson in love. That's too many. I need one, just one. You guys have a lot of lessons. Okay. What is group 2's current lesson in love? All right, there it is. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Okay. Honesty here. Communication. Truth. Speaking your truth. Some of you may have a blocked throat chakra, or your partner does, if you are in a situation. I'm getting a couple different messages for you guys here. Some of you have a hard time being honest about your feelings, or you have a hard time opening up. You're very closed off. When something bothers you, you don't speak. Others of you, you don't hold space for your partner to talk. You know, it's always about, oh, I feel this way, you blah, blah, blah. But you never, you know, listen when they feel some type of way. For those of you that are in a situation, in a relationship, I don't know if it's you or your partner, but someone has kind of emotionally checked out of this relationship. Even if you are still together, someone has emotionally checked out. Okay? They don't listen. You know, they're not hearing you anymore. Someone's not hearing you anymore. I think for this group, heart-to-heart conversations, your biggest lesson, I'm going to have to pull more on this because it's a little bit different. I think honesty is a part of your lesson, and letting go. Honesty and letting go is your lesson in love, your current lesson in love. Being honest with yourself, to know when it's over. I feel like you guys deal with people who don't, I feel like you have to, you constantly are telling someone, what you will accept, what you don't, what makes you feel some sort of way, and they listen, but they're not listening. They hear you, but they don't listen. They're not. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna get one more romance angel. Oh, you know what? I'll just clarify with the tarot. How about that? That'll help. Some of you just don't consider your partner's feelings, so it's gonna go different for this group. One of you guys are on one side of it, and then others of you are on the other side of it. Okay, one of you is the female, one of you is the male, but I'm not talking about your male. You're a man, she's a woman, you're a woman, he's a man. I'm talking about, like, look at this card. Look at the energies. The difference between the man and the woman. The vibe. Spirit, clarify heart-to-heart conversations as group 2's current lesson in love. Clarify heart-to-heart conversations as group 2's current lesson in love. Too many, but I got a message for you guys. Give me one. Clarify heart-to-heart conversations, group 2's current lesson in love. I keep spitting them out. Just give me one. All right, let's see. Clarify heart-to-heart conversations, current lesson in love. 3 of Pentacles. Now, okay, some of you guys struggle with communication. If you're in a relationship, if you're not, you have had difficult communication with people. You have difficulty seeing eye to eye with people. You have difficulty accepting people. People have difficulty accepting you. Being honest with your feelings, with how you're feeling. Being honest with yourself. Some of you hold on to relationships over their due date. Okay? Like when the relationship is over and someone is just, they're not there anymore. You still hold on. But you know that this person is already gone. They're physically there, but they're already gone. Or you're already gone. And you stay. But there's no growth. There's no growth. Some of you deal with partners who have had you in third-party situations. Your current lesson is to communicate effectively and to be honest with yourself and with your partner about how you're feeling and where this is going. if you want it to go anywhere. If you want to build this relationship, if you want to work on this relationship, because some of you hold on to people who you know, they're either very controlling or you're controlling, who don't want to work on this, who are not nearly putting in as half of, you know, as much as half of the work that you're putting in. I don't know if I said that right or not, but you know what I mean. You're doing all the work. You're doing all the work in this relationship. You know, you give too much and get too little. You guys act as if your partner is here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you, so you will always consider them. Some of you don't consider, like I said in the beginning, some of you just don't listen to your partner and what they want. You don't consider, you know, their needs. You and your partner, if you're in a situation, you have different love languages. Okay? Act as if your partner is already here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they're here with you, so you will always consider them. You don't consider the other person's need or how the other person is feeling or what's going on with them. Selfish. Or this is, you know, the way that what you're experiencing. So if this is what you're experiencing, give back to yourself. Be honest. Let's see what else comes out, you guys. I feel like this group, and again, take it how it fits, but you know, you or your partner, someone does things and does not even ask their partner, and this is not good, especially if you live with this person, because you do things and you don't, you know, there's no mutual agreement. There's no mutual agreement. You guys argue a lot because you guys aren't seeing eye to eye. There's bad communication here. There's a lot of disagreements. Finding middle ground, the ability to sit and be honest with each other and acknowledge each other's truth, acknowledge each other's feelings, and work to establish, you know, reciprocity and a mutual agreement, mutual, you know, agree to disagree type shit. You guys have heart with a key, welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together, perfect. And then you guys have hammer, sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, working on it. Like I said, you guys get very attached in relationships when you think you have met the one. And things go wrong. There's a repetitiveness in your connections, in your relationships, whether you're with someone or not. There's a repetitiveness. You guys aren't learning the lesson. A lot of you sabotage your own relationships. It feels to me you guys are constantly working on this relationship. Constantly, it has to be worked on. It has to be worked on. Striving for perfection. Some of you strive for perfection. A lot of you are very interrogating. You interrogate your partner a lot, or they interrogate you. And maybe you're not trusting them. Maybe you guys have trust issues too. But you guys hold on to relationships and you want to keep working on them. You want to keep working on them when, like I said, they've expired. They've expired. You guys are not you know, again, finding the mutual ground. There's a constant, like, it falls apart, build it back up, falls apart, build it back up, but yous are the ones knocking it down in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get an advice card for you guys, because I can't really put a concrete label on your lesson. You know, a concrete word. You guys need to work on yourself. You guys need to work on yourself. Consider others. Consider their goals, their dreams, their ideals of love, their love language. You know, I feel like you guys place your beliefs on your partner. You guys like to place your beliefs or your truth on your partner. Now, mind you, there's three truths. There's your truth, there's their truth, and then there's the truth. What may be true for you may not be true for them. You guys need to learn to verbalize, to communicate effectively. It's one of your lessons. And to acknowledge not just your own truth, but your partner's. To not give too much. To not overextend. You guys burn yourself out. That's what I'm feeling with this sun card. You guys burn yourself out in situations. It's exhausting. It's exhausting having to keep working on the same things, having to repeat the same things to your partner who's not listening, or you're that person that's not listening. Some of you should probably go to therapy together if you want to keep this relationship. Others of you really need to address the truth in this situation. Heart-to-heart conversations. You need to be open and honest about what it is that you want. And then be honest about if your partner is ready. And if, you know, you and your partner can give each other what you are looking to get out of love. You know, to get out of this relationship. Where do you want it to go? Your biggest lesson in love, you guys, group 2, is to speak your truth and to hold space for your partner's truth. So, truth, listen, hold space. Don't shy away from the hard conversations. Don't shy away from your own truth. And allow your partner to tell you what, you know, they're going through. And hold space for them. Because you ain't right all the time. You ain't right all the time. If your person has checked out of this situation, you need to accept it. All right, group 2, I hope that helped you. That was kind of, you know, it was a little hard to address, but I hope that helped you guys. Okay. Group 3. You guys have a hard time getting over people. Group 3, you guys have a hard time getting over people or letting people go. Or letting go of the past. just want to quick clear it out. Alright. Group 3. You guys, what were you guys represented by? I totally forgot what I represent. Oh, the shell. Group 3 represented by the seashell. Okay. Let's talk, Group 3. Your current lesson in love. Your current lesson in love. Let me see what time it is, you guys, because I do have something to do. Okay, we got time. I don't have to rush. I hate feeling rushed. Okay. Group 3 spirit. Group 3 represented by the seashell. What is their current lesson in love? Group 3. What is Group 3's current lesson in love? Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Group 3. Your biggest lesson, or I keep saying your biggest lesson, your current lesson in love is knowing when to disconnect, when to retreat from a relationship. And I'm hearing from a toxic relationship. When to give space. But really what I'm picking up is when to let go, when to walk away, when to retreat. And also, you know, when you are in a relationship, knowing when to give your partner space. You know, knowing when you've had too much time spent together, that you become fucking, excuse me, but annoying to each other, you know, too much. You know, allowing them to have the space they need to do things they want to do, because, you know, we don't always like to do things that our partner likes to do. Knowing when to retreat. Your biggest lesson, knowing when to disconnect from a relationship that is over. That's over. You guys, this group, Group 3, is my group that, you know, thinks that, you know, whenever they go in a relationship, this is the one they're going to be with. Every time. Like, this is it. This is the one. True love. You know, some of you, it's like you make commitments, you're in a commitment, and you don't want to, you know, you have this, like, fear of failure. Like, you don't want to fail even though you know it's over. Or just because you see this person as the one you're going to be with, the one you're going to marry, the one you are married to, that no matter what happens or what you go through, you stick around. Fear of abandonment. Fear of not finding another love. Fear of not having love again. Group 3. Group 3's current lesson in love. Group 3's current lesson in love. Let's see. Let's see what else comes out. Listen with your heart. Are you listening to what is being said to you? Oh, you are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart. I feel like this is your guides. This is your guides giving you signs, talking to you, but you guys choose not to listen. It's like you guys know, you intuitively know, and you receive these signs, you know, that you need to let go or you need to retreat. But you don't listen. You're not listening to your heart. You don't listen to your heart. And some of you, here's another thing that I'm getting. This is for those of you that aren't in a connection. You know, some of you, your biggest lesson is to disconnect from people. Spend time with yourself so you can listen. So you can listen to your heart, so you can follow your heart. So you can receive the intuitive, you know, your intuitive guidance. So you can receive what the universe is sending to you as far as love is concerned. You guys are also very clingy in your relationships. You like to be around your partner, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a little too much sometimes, even for them, you know? And, you know, your lesson right now is to retreat from whatever attachment it is you're holding on to. Or if you're in a relationship and you're holding on to that. So that you can go within. So that you can listen with your heart to what is being said, what is being shown to you. To listen with a loving heart, to accept, you know, your divine path in love. Yep. Okay. You guys have healing heart. Healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationships or addiction. I actually feel like some of you in this relationship, or some of you in this group, are actually learning this lesson. It's not just the lesson, your current lesson, it's the lesson you are actually learning. You are learning this. Like, or some of you have learned this. You know, you just finished learning this. Retreat and healing heart. You guys are learning when to, like I said, when to let go, when to walk away, when it's time to retreat and heal. When it's time to, you know, not pick up the broken pieces and put them back together, but when it's time to let it go and put yourself back together. To heal yourself, to be free. So you can come back to love within yourself. Then you have the dragonfly. Be lighthearted, finding out things coming to light, adapt, change, heal. I want to get some tarot on this. So, and another thing is, guys, one of your lessons, you guys, is when you intuitively know something is off within your connections, within your relationships, to trust it. To trust it. You guys are, your lesson is learning to adapt, learning when to retreat, when to take action, Trusting your intuition. When things are changing, when something has changed. Learning when to change. Clarify, retreat, please. Group 3's current lesson in love. Ace of Swords. Your current lesson is accepting the truth. Your current lesson is retreating, knowing when it's time to disconnect, pull the plug. Ace of Swords. Listen with your heart. You know, this is divine truth. This is divine truth. Listening with your heart. Not just your head, not just your logic. But, I mean, yes, Ace of Swords. But this is, to me, this is the listening. This is the listening. Your truth, the truth. Recognizing that. When it's time to cut people off, when it's time to let go. And not just in a relationship, but in love. In love, you guys. In love. With friends, with a job, with you know, family, work, toxic habits. See, that's why it says healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationships or addictions. Knowing when you have to retreat from this, you can't keep doing this. You know this. You're hearing this, you hear it. You're not listening. You're not loving yourself. Your biggest lesson, you guys, is knowing when to cut the cord, when to walk away, when it's time to cut something out of your life, whether it be a person, a thing, a habit, a way of thinking, negative self-talk. Your biggest lesson, group 3, is knowing when to retreat. Knowing when to cut the cord. And being very clear. Making a very clear decision. You guys, group 3, making very clear decisions as far as love is concerned. What will stay, what will go. Listen with your heart. Change, heal. Heal. Free yourself, free yourself. Ace of Swords. Disconnect. Adapt. Change. Heal. Group 3, that is what I have for you. I hope it helped you. I hope you listen with your loving heart and do what you need to do in love. Learn this lesson so you don't repeat it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. I hope I helped you. All my info is in the description box, and I will be back